coming to you live. Episode 36 of the Dopest podcast with your party and Lyndon, aka the other L, and RS. Tonight's game is gonna be Destiny. Nothing important to do, just branded activities. That's what I need right now. Right, we got a lot to talk about. Movies, music, and video games.
Okay.
EA gets hacked. Tyler says that if you get lost, to call him.
Call him. That's what he said.
And I saw The Conjuring. The devil made me do it.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait to hear about this one.
Yeah, I forgot the would have did it last week, but man, that shit was. I've never been so tired in my life. Like, I've been tired, but this was like death's door tired.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I ain't never gone to sleep, woken up, and then like wished I was still asleep while falling asleep. So, I'm gonna let you cover this Tyler track because you follow it a lot better and more than I do.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to X5 Void. That's a Shockwave.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so Tyler, the Creator, dropped a new track called Lumberjack.
Lumberjack.
About 2 days ago.
I thought it was a damn album.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did. Which kind of surprised me. I was like, this nigga talks like a damn album.
It's Tyler, the Creator.
Can we have a build up a little bit first before the album drops?
Nope.
You know? Cause I think on the track it said "Call me Lumberjack" cause I wish a nigga would. He definitely says that.
I don't get that.
like a wood, like a
oh,
like the wood from a tree. Yeah, cause
so
I wish a nigga
stupid.
would. Yeah. Still like my favorite bar. My favorite bar is still when he said I'm cool with a nigga, but he a bitch, so I call him Mulan. I love that line. Yo, that line is so fucking stupid, but it's just it's just hilarious to me. It's my favorite line, but
call me Lumberjack cause I wish a nigga would.
Dope track.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the beat different. The DJ drama yelling throughout makes it feel like that's such a
unexpected thing.
Like a different thing. Unexpected thing, cause DJ drama is like known for like screaming on mixtapes. Like he don't do that shit these days. Like music has changed so much. Like them Gangsta Grill mixtapes. Like
Gangsta Grill.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, you remember those shit. Niggas love that shit. They don't do shit like that more. So the fact that Tyler Creator like got that nigga to even come do that on a track is dope. And mind you would think this is for a mixtape, but nah, you got an album coming out. So
like
that man mindset. Yeah, that man mindset is just like it's out there. But I've been saying that since fucking Flower Boy and Igor. Like that nigga's mind is on a whole nother fucking field.
Oh yeah.
Than like regular niggas. Like, so the video was cool. It was random as fuck, but it was cool. It was dope. Track was dope. Track was dope.
If you had to guess,
I think the album was coming out next Friday. I think.
What?
Yeah, I sent it to you on Instagram.
Oh, so about that.
June 25th. I think
I have gotten rid of all my social media for the time being.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I just went ahead and deleted them apps and disabled Facebook because apparently you can't delete that motherfucker off your phone. But I just kind of taken a break from social media. So
You pull Elizabeth Olsen out this motherfucker.
you slick.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know.
I watched something with her today too. I don't know if you ever saw like that YouTube channel, like them celebrities be eating them hot wings and shit.
What the fuck?
You,
No, but I
you
think I
never
know
seen
what
them
you're
before?
talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, she was on there randomly,
Damn.
and YouTube recommended it for me. I ain't watched the whole thing. I probably watched a good 5 minutes, and
I could picture her cursing the storms. Like, oh my god, this is hot.
yeah, she like I said, I just like seeing her, like, cause she seemed like she's just the most like best person to be around. Like she seemed like she would just brighten up your day with positivity and
Right.
insight on shit. Like, so she was on there, and dude actually said that to her, like, cause I guess a
That
part of
she's so
the
positive.
show is no that she deleted her social media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I guess a part of the interview is them going through their social media and bring up pictures and stuff like
She
from
can't.
Instagram or whatever,
Never
and you
heard.
can't do that with her because she deleted everything.
Mm. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
I feel like that's the way to go, to be honest, because
hell yeah.
I feel like there is such a thing as being too connected to a person. Too much information can be just as bad as not enough.
Yeah, I was reading the comments too, and the comment, one commenter definitely said like why she did it, which I didn't know.
I thought it was
He or
because
she
she,
said
didn't want to deal with no crazies.
that's part of it too. Supposedly somebody passed away that she was supposed to be close to, and when she had social media, she didn't make a tweet or a RIP or type tweet or social media post about it.
Mm-hmm.
So people like jumped on her shit, like was like, why you're
You,
not saying
you,
nothing about your close friend passing and shit,
oh,
and that's what made her leave. Right? Yeah, I
wow.
saw that shit. I said, that's why she left. I said, man, I said, this is the part of social media that's fucking toxic. Like, why should
Yeah.
y'all care if she says RIP to her friend? Like,
Some people
maybe she's
grieve.
grieving in private.
Yeah.
She don't gotta post that she's like that's the most dumbest shit. That would make social media like negative. Like don't
That's
come at me because I didn't say RIP to somebody that y'all know that I was close to. I might be
that's
grieving in private.
fucking that's fucking
But some
crazy.
people do. Yeah. And they said that's what made her leave. Like so many people was like getting on her about grieve, like the way she was grieving and she just left.
I'd have
It's
been
just
like, it
fucking
ain't none of y'all fucking business.
right. Y'all ain't gonna tell me how to grieve. I don't have to fucking say RIP to my close friend that y'all know that I'm close to. Y'all don't gotta say that shit.
Right.
Like I could, come on, man. Like that's fucking
Like,
stupid. That's
like,
how I know social media is fucking toxic. Like with
and,
shit like that, bro.
and
It's stupid.
what's crazy about it is, if it was me, I always feel like that's not something I would share on social media anyway. It seemed to be the thing for everybody to let people know about your life. Like, I don't give a fuck about your life like that. I mean, if you put it out
It's
there,
the
cool, but I don't always care to hear, what another person got going on. That's what the fuck I call folk for.
right, especially as a fucking celebrity. This is what.
Because what you
That's one
post on
thing
your
that's
social
working
media,
wrong for me.
what you post on your social media might not even be what the fuck is going on. Got bitches out here posting
Right,
photos of going here and going there, and meanwhile this bitch is really at the house laid up.
right. Like people be fucking lying. That's why I say social media is like I look at it as a blessing and a curse. Like it's a blessing because it can tell you like what's really going on out here in the world that people couldn't really say before because of the internet wasn't really a big thing. But the negative is these people who out here just be like stalking these celebrities, like
Nah, it can still be
stalking.
it can still be really negative because that shit might not be true.
That's true too. Yeah, it could be
You
a
have
yeah.
false
You can see a
information
post
being
could be a whole
passed
lie.
around. Not even that,
Right.
but you just have false information being passed around, and that shit does more harm.
Yeah.
So
You're right. You're right. So social media can be like really troublesome, like for people. And that's why I say if I was a celebrity, I probably wouldn't have one either. because people that's like the weirdest thing to me. And when I watched her interview with the Hot Wings interview thing, she seemed like such the most down to earth person. Like that social media shit is crazy because you'll have people like if you're a celebrity, right? You're popular, right? People will come to you like on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you're on. They don't even know who the fuck you are. They just know you because of something you acted in, some like music that you made, and you have no idea who this person is in real life, and you'll attack them because somebody
they
passed away.
did. No, you'll attack them because of something they said, did, or didn't do, or didn't say.
You don't know me at all. You never met me in real life. You don't know shit about me besides these movies I'm in or this music I made, and base that off of Twitter. Like that's so weird to me. I don't follow no celebrity that close.
Yeah, nah.
Like, real shit. Like when it comes to like me, I love music, right? So I follow some artists, but I don't give a fuck what they really posting unless it's about music.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about nothing else they posting. I really don't. I'm that type of guy. I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about unless it's music. People like Kendrick, like Cole, them niggas barely post social media because unless it's something to do with music, because that's all you should care about. You shouldn't care about your own personal life.
Like people be putting that shit out there, and I just be like, people putting that shit out there, I'd be like, why? Why should I care that you just got a new Lambo? Like, I mean, if you check up, it's a difference between telling somebody, oh, I got a Lambo versus just taking a picture of your Lambo.
Right. Exactly. Like, it's so fucking weird to me.
Like, nobody needs to know that you got a new house.
No.
And I get,
congrats to you.
Yeah,
and they benefiting me.
And I get it. I get it. You want to just show off your accomplishments. You want to show off your achievements. But what if somebody had a sick and fucking twisted mind and they were just like, oh, you got a new house? Let me go rob that motherfucker then.
Right.
And then you sitting wondering, why me? Why did they do this to me? Well, motherfucker, you gave them the whole reason.
Yeah, I mean, even going to like all these women, especially women too. Like women love to post. Like let's say they got a baby on the way.
Yeah.
Or they have a child. For some reason, women just love posting like their newborn, like when they're pregnant. The newborns, the child, like,
right.
I mean, congratulations, but I don't give a damn. That's not my kid. Hey, I don't care about your child like that. Congratulations to you, though.
I feel like
I know girls who don't post shit on social media at all, nothing about their life, and I know girls who post almost every day.
Oh man.
I mean, so it depends on the purpose. I mean, not a purpose, on the person, you know. So. You know, it is what it is. I look at social media for me, I look at it as something funny. Like, I'm not posting like serious shit. I post like something funny or like a joke. You know, I'm not posting anything. I'm not posting anything serious, but that's me. Everybody's different. So social media is just that's a whole fucking topic. But back to Tyler Creator. I'm looking forward to the album. I love his past two projects, Flower Boy and Igor. I know you didn't really care for Igor like that.
Yeah, I mean, I still listen to it, but like I said, I don't listen because of certain songs.
What song you said?
Certain songs, Earthquake and I want to say Black Magic, or is it Magic Wand?
Magic Wand, that's a good one. That's a great one. Looks like for this new album though, he's going back to rap.
The rap, yeah.
If we going off a lumberjack,
that means that means he's over that breakup.
Right. whatever he was going through on Igor is definitely gone now.
Earthquake, new Magic Wand, running out of time. And
Yeah, around that time was dog.
I want to say, Are We Still Friends?
Always still friends. I mean, the fact that he can make an album like Igor off his voice is definitely super creative. Like Tyler Creator is like super talented. Like the type of voice he has, his rapping voice, the fact that he made an album like Igor off that voice, and the fact he was, cause I guess throughout that album he was changing his tone of his voice. I mean, he had to. The nigga made a song like Earthquake, and that was him singing the shit.
Yeah.
Like you would not believe it was him I would not believe that was him if you told me that was him singing that song. Like that's super fucking creative. That I don't think of artists have.
I mean, it don't sound that different though.
You don't think on Earthquake? You trying to tell me you just heard Lumberjack? That's that nigga's voice. Like that's that nigga's straight voice. He sounds just like that when he talks. Earthquake sounds nothing like Tyler the Creator. His voice. And they got a fucking deep, raspy ass voice.
Oh, okay.
He's singing on Earthquake.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Like,
Cause I got this shit pulled up.
yes, that nigga definitely did wonders in this studio.
I just gotta hear that first.
Yeah, I know.
That's him.
That's him.
Okay, yeah,
He's singing that.
Okay, that's different.
Okay.
He obviously had to like modify like his voice.
His whole voice. He had to. I told you.
Never mind.
Yeah, that nigga, boy, he modified the fuck out his voice. Like that's. I think he said that too before Igor came out. Like he said he can't sing because his voice is terrible. So he had to modify it for Igor.
He could sing. He just wouldn't be able to sing nothing on the level of Drake. He would have to sing something on the level of Barry White.
Yeah, cause that nigga voice is terrible. Like in a good way. And I'm not saying it's like terrible. Like that nigga voice he has a deep raspy voice. Like his voice on Lumberjack, that's how he sounds when he talks.
Yo, did I ever tell you I felt like that nigga was like I felt like he's a black version of Eminem.
Yeah. Oh no, he was getting that comparison when he first came out because of if you go back to his first album, I think it's called Goblin. That man, boy, that shit right there. I told you when.
What's the song off that?
Shit, yo, that shit is rough. Like when I tell you that shit, that I told you when he first came out. Nah, I didn't like it. That shit was too much for me.
Oh, okay.
Because of the shit he was saying.
Yo, I heard a track like that today, and I had to fucking skip it because I was like, I don't like the beat, and I don't really give a shit about the lyrics. I think it was like started with an R. It's like not radicals. I think it was radicals. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
And then I heard one called Bastard. That one wasn't that bad.
Bastard. I think he got a song. I think he got a song called Bastard.
Yeah, he did a song called Bastard. It's from I can't tell you where it's from, but I know that it's the album basically, not the album, but the track is basically him talking like he's a psychiatrist talking to himself, a student psychiatrist.
Yeah, see, I again, I told you this. I did not become a fan of his till Flower Boy. So that first album he made, that was too much for me. I never went back and listened to it. And I think he put out another one. called Cherry Bomb. I listened to some of that, but not the full thing. Like
Gotcha.
Flower Boy is where I
Where you
became a
drew the
fan of
line.
Yeah, but that first I just remember because I remember someone was playing Goblin for me one time, and I was like, yo, this nigga is fucking crazy. Cause I remember that video he made when he first came out. I remember that video he made where he was like, it was like in gray and white, and that nigga had that fucking roach crawling on his body and shit, and he was like, and he fucking ate that shit.
Please tell me that was digital.
I have no idea. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like, that nigga had that fucking roach crawling on his arm and his hand. He was rapping while it was happening. That nigga took the roach and fucking bit that shit and then spit it out and like he threw up the roach. Like, that why that nigga was when he first came out. Like, that nigga first album.
That might have been real.
Yeah, that nigga was raw, bro. Like, that nigga was too much for me. I couldn't do it. Like, but I saw like, I remember like a couple of years ago I saw an interview with him. He said he don't like the album now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he said that, I remember him saying that shit. He was like, when he go back and listen to his like to Goblin, he said that he doesn't like it because of the way it sounds and the way he was like the sound is
like he needed more mastering or something.
Yeah, it was like he just said he doesn't like the way it turned out. Mind you, this is the Tyler after Flower Boy, so his mindset of creativity is very different than it was when he made Goblin. You know what I'm saying? Same with who else said that like they old shit? Same with Eminem did that.
Really?
Eminem said that he didn't. Yeah, that's that album Relapse. I don't know if you ever heard that album.
Oh,
It was an album he was rapping in like that accent. It was like that serial killer type album shit. Like
yeah,
very
horror
feel. Yeah, he's like Eminem said that he doesn't like that album. He said he'll go back and listen to it, and he said he just think it's cringy. The shit
yeah, I
at that time. Yeah, and it's so crazy to hear an artist say that because like my nigga, you
like you're responsible for this. Right.
Yeah, you made this album. You made all these songs. At the time, you thought it was dope.
I mean, I could kind of understand it because there are certain poems that I've written that I just be like,
yeah,
nah, that wasn't the move.
Yeah, it be like that too when I be seeing my Facebook posts. My Facebook like brings back old posts you said years ago. I be looking at that shit. I be like, damn, I said that shit. Damn, I was looking reckless.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's all a part of growth. It's all a part of growth. Yeah, but I'm one of the people that and this is one thing I disagree with Eminem with, because at least with that with Relapse, I go back and listen to it all the time, and I think that shit's dope, even though he doesn't like it. But I definitely fuck with Relapse. I loved his rhyme scheme on that shit. I love that serial killer horror vibe he was getting throughout that project, because he didn't do that on nothing else. So that was to me that was like a special project because he didn't do that on nothing else. You know, so yeah, I fuck with Relapse. I definitely Relapse. To this day, I don't know why he wrote down in that accent, but
I don't remember that album.
I think he can say that. You don't.
Not because Eminem in an accent would be new to me.
I gotta see you some tracks from that shit one day. But Relapse, again, I fuck with it because I love the creativity he did when he made it. It sounded like he was having fun. Like that accent was so funny to me. Like going back and listen to it because he was rapping in the accent, and I remember the interview he said he don't even know why he did it either. That's so crazy to hear. That's so crazy to hear somebody say like you made a whole album rapping in an accent, and you don't know why you did it.
That's
You just did
crazy.
it. Yeah. Yeah, man. I felt Relapse. I definitely got to sing a couple of tracks on that motherfucker. Relapse is definitely, oh shit. That album is definitely
Not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not. And mind you, that was the album he came out with after being gone for like 4 or 5 years. Like
Oh,
when he quit music, he came back with Relapse like 5 years later,
you know what
and
I'm
it was
thinking
so
of?
crazy.
Thinking of fucking Recovery.
Recovery. Okay, Recovery is the album he made after Relapse. That's the album he made that was more. He didn't use no accents, and he was more back to himself.
And what was the name of that album that everybody like more or less ragged on him for? And he was
Did they
like,
like it?
yeah, I think he went back and said he
Revival.
didn't. Yeah, that's what I was thinking
Revival.
of.
Yeah, Revival was the one that nobody liked, and that made him mad, and that's when he made Kamikaze.
Man,
That's his response.
I know when I fucking heard that one song with him and Beyonce, I said, nope.
Yeah, man, Walk on Water, man. It was just I don't know. I like what he was saying in that song, but that song doesn't have a beat. And
Yeah,
I
nah.
don't know why he went that route. That doesn't make sense to me. So beat. It's just strictly piano. And I said, bro, no. I
He
mean,
done
he got
goofed.
Beyonce on that motherfucker, which is kind of,
Nah,
which
that's
is
what
kind
made
of.
it made it worse.
But no, honestly, but think about it though. Eminem got Beyonce on that motherfucker. Nigga, I didn't even think them two would ever make a song together, to be honest with you.
I mean,
I look at that song, I look at that track like that. I didn't think Beyonce would ever make a song with Eminem. So the fact
I
that
don't
she
know,
did it,
man.
I said, wow, that's impressive or different. Or, yeah, she made a song with that man.
I don't know, man. I just think the shit could be a little different.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but Revival, I do not go back to the album. I do not go back to the album at all, like ever. I really don't.
but yeah,
I really don't.
so moving forward, this movie,
Conjuring.
yeah. I really, how can I put it? I liked it. It was pretty dope.
You liked it, okay?
Yeah, Viz said that Viz said it's alright. It wasn't as good as the last one, and I'm like, you're not wrong, but I don't know. Twists were still twists. Everything seemed a little more streamlined. Bro, to be honest, I never thought to ask that question until seeing this. And I do not know the answer. You have to Google it.
Okay.
Cause I know it's a lot of them. My favorite, I think, was there's one where like the husband got possessed, and they were trying to it was like a demon from his childhood or something like that. That's my favorite one. And then the one with the doll, they had one with a doll, Annabelle. I thought that shit was the worst.
I thought it was bad.
Hell yeah, I thought that shit was bad. Like,
I saw the Annabelle movie, but they made a couple of those too. But I saw the one when it was some orphans like standing in the house with that nun.
orphans standing in the house with a nun. You have to show me like something from that.
I saw that shit in fucking theaters, and I thought it was straight. But I thought the movie made like a very stupid decision with because I think the man that was in the house had died.
Oh,
from an evil spirit.
I know what you're talking about. Cause
and they went back in that motherfucking stage. I said no.
Yeah. Cause it was one with a girl. Wasn't it the one where the girl had died? She like got ran over or something like that.
Yeah, that's how the shit started.
I remember that one. That yeah, ain't gonna lie, that one was kind of weak too.
Yeah, that one's now. What was fun? What was great to me because I went to see that in the theater, so I just had like the watching a horror movie with a whole bunch of people. It's always fun to me because
It's like the
I get
best
to a
fucking
moment
experience.
It is. So I watch the movie and the shit won't scare me, but the fucking artist will scream.
Right.
And I'll be like, nigga, it was not that bad.
Right. You know, it's funny. I just talked to a coworker this morning about that shit. Cause I was asking her, I was like, I was asking if she like anime and stuff like that. She was like, no, not really. And I was like, she was like, do you? I was like, yeah, I watch it. She said she was watching like Attack on Titan and stuff like that. So then by the time we got to the movies thing, I just flat out asked her, I was like, well, what kind of movies do you like if you don't watch like the MCU movies or whatever? I'm not saying that you have to. I just don't know what you like. And she was like, she like horror movies. I said, get the fuck out of here, for real. She was like, yeah. So I told her, I said, they always make me laugh. And she kind of looked at me like I was stupid. And I was like, well, it's not like I'm laughing when the scary shit happens. I'm laughing because other people are getting scared and it's not that scary. So.
Yo, one memory that I'll never forget. That was the theaters, right?
Yeah.
It was that same movie too, the anime movie. When I was sitting there with the people that I went with, right? It was a white people sitting behind us, right?
Yeah.
It's a scary moment had happened. This girl, like, you know how when you like watch that moment, like I think she grabbed her popcorn so hard that the shit fucking flew up, and like. Like someone fell down the wall. So at this point, I know she's not fucking playing. I know she's fucking scared, right? This bitch saying, she was like, I remember what she said. She was like, yeah, it's awesome. She's like, I almost peed myself. Mind you, she said that shit so loud, I could hear her. I couldn't do nothing but bust out laughing, dog, cause she said that shit. I said, yo. It was so funny to me, bro. She was like, guys, I almost peed myself. And she said this shit so loud that I heard it. And I couldn't even laugh, bro. Yeah, it was. And I said, the moment even that movie was not scary to me.
That is hilarious.
It was not scary. And like people would be in my theater and they'll just scream over there. I'll be like, yo, this is hilarious to me. Like it's not that bad.
Like y'all need to chill the fuck out with all this screaming and shit, man. It's just a movie. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when jump scares do get me, it get me, but I don't make me fucking scream and shit. It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, people be screaming. Like, yeah, right. That's what I be saying. Like, same thing you be saying, like, oh, shit. That's all I say. I don't be, motherfuckers be screaming like this shit's happening to them.
Yo,
like, why you screaming
the same reaction I have to a nigga in a fight on My Hero Academia is the same reaction I be having when niggas be trying to jump scare me in movies. Oh, shit.
God damn, it's the theaters, man. I ain't been in theaters in so long.
Man, I might go July 9th to see this fucking Black Widow movie.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be in the movies. Yeah, but as far as Annabelle, that movie that I saw, that shit right there, like I thought it was the most dumbest decision. And mind you, this shit, even when I was in the I don't think I seen any reviews before I saw it. We just went. It was like a spur in the moment. We just went to go see it. Man, we went to go see that shit. That dude had died in the house from a fucking. I remember that fucking thing.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
And that nigga was laying there like all
twisted
gray
and shit.
And almost twisted and shit. I said, yo, why would you go back in the house and stay there after this man has died like that? No, I said, why would no?
I mean, at least it ain't one of them situations like damn, I can't think of the name of this movie, but they had two parts to it. It had something to do with this writer who he ended up invoking like the spirit of this entity that would like control children, and he ended up getting killed by his daughter. But I kept thinking to myself, like, why don't you just move? And the movie was so fucking clever. The movie was so fucking clever. These niggas moved and that shit followed them. Kind of like Paranormal Activity.
Okay, I was just about to say that's what it was.
No, and that's not what it was, but that's what it was like.
I think that was Paranormal Activity 3, because I watched that one and I was just so glad they finally left the house.
Shit, all of them are slick, kind of like that though. Like you can't just move.
Yeah. So when Paranormal Activity 3 happened, I was like, okay, their family finally moved. Thank you. And then I should follow them to the other house. I said, oh okay. I said, well, we're still escaping this shit.
Right. And be like, oh, good goddamn.
Yeah, so
I remember there was one Paranormal Activity where like cause this was also a complaint. People would be like, yeah man, they'll never try to like fight back in the movies or anything like that. They just let the shit happen to them. So like in this particular one, this nigga had a shotgun. He was like blowing old witches away and shit. I said, yo, this is pretty dope. But I feel like anybody that has a weapon almost always uses that said weapon hella incorrectly. Like they just waste all the ammo in the world or whatnot.
Of course.
So
this is why I fuck with what's that movie, John Wick.
Oh yeah.
Cause he uses all them guns correctly as fuck. Like,
I mean, when you Baba Yaga, you got to shit.
Yeah, exactly. But you said overall, you said you did like the movie? Oh
hell yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of that movie.
Okay, cool. It's always HBO Max, right?
Yeah. And what's dope about it, what's most dope about it to me is that they be tying this shit to like the real world adventures of this husband and wife couple and whatnot. So yeah.
Cool. Well, honestly, when it comes to horror movies, I'm not one of those type of people that like watch horror movies by themselves. I don't know that.
I'm not good.
Not because I'm scared, just
because you're a scared little bitch.
No, that's really not it. I just don't. I feel like watching horror movies with somebody else makes it better.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you there. I can't think of a horror movie that I've just, oh man, I gotta watch this shit by myself. Like, I don't gotta watch this shit by myself if nobody wants to watch it.
Right, I'll do it then. But that's kind of weird that you like, oh, I want to watch a horror movie.
that's like an old man. That's like an old man going to a fucking elementary school and he ain't got no damn grandchildren. So what the fuck you doing? I need you to go the fuck back to the home.
Right. That's fucking weird to me. That's fucking weird. Like just to watch horror movies by yourself. Like that's weird to me. Like definitely watch it with somebody else. People.
Yeah.
But actually, I haven't seen the horror movie in a while. Honestly, I'm thinking about it now.
Well, I would definitely recommend that one. And that one, it was thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, glad you cope with it.
Now I'm gonna play this because I didn't get a chance to look at this video, but because the second part says the hackers explained how easy it was to infiltrate EA and steal 780 data, I said, yo, I got to cover this now. So this is a video from me.
First of all, for those asking, I am aware of the whole Kojima abandoned blue box conspiracy. I'm gonna try to compile information on that and make a video potentially down the line. But for this video, I want to talk about electronic arts. Many of you may recall that prior to E3, I reported on EA having faced a hack that resulted in a bunch of data getting stolen. Here's a report from Bleeping Computer published on June 10th, 2021. The hackers stole this data and are trying to sell for $28 million, which is just an insane amount, and I don't know if anyone would be willing to pay for that. But among the things stolen include debug tools, SDK and API keys, FIFA 21 matchmaking server, FIFA 22 API keys and some SDK and debugging tools, Frostbite source code and debug tools. Source code getting stolen can be especially harmful. Many proprietary EA games framework and SDKs, Xbox and Sony private SDK and API key, and Xbox, PlayStation, and EA, PFX and CRT with key currently used. So that's what's listed here, and EA has responded. They spoke to news outlet Vice and said that they're investigating. No player data was accessed, and insisted that this is not going to affect players, the games, and their business, trying to play down the damage of this hack. And I don't know how trustworthy this statement is, if it's true that it really wasn't a big deal, or if it's had more of an adverse effect than they're letting on. They haven't said anything about whether employees have been affected, if personal information has been leaked. Now, you would think that given that this is a multi-billion-dollar company, the process of hacking EA, breaching them, and then stealing all this data was a complicated matter, and that it required a lot of work and effort. But as it turns out, this hack was a lot easier than you might think. The methods that the hackers used to breach, essentially EA let them in a lot of ways. And this was detailed by news outlet Vice, who actually spoke to some of the hackers who engaged with this nefarious activity, and they detailed exactly how they went about it. And so let's actually take a look at this. It's a very curious story, and it also raises security concerns about EA, and I hope they will take steps to mitigate this, because we're talking about potential breaches of work by employees, personal information of employees, and potentially, if breaches are bad enough, player information as well. So, a representative for the hackers told Motherboard in an online chat that the process started by purchasing stolen cookies being sold online for $10 and using those to gain access to a Slack channel used by EA. For those who don't know what cookies are, here is Slashgear, who also reported on this and explained in basic terms, cookies are one of the most commonplace convenience features of the internet and web services, responsible for saving login data and sessions. With them, you can avoid having to enter your authentication credentials every time you visit the same web page, for instance, and they can also be used to record a log of visits. However, what few may realize is that there's also a marketplace for stolen cookies online, sold for nefarious purposes. So cookies essentially offer certain conveniences while you're web browsing by storing certain data, and obviously that's a bit of a double-edged sword, because if that data is stolen, it could potentially be used to engage in hacks. And with EA in particular, that stolen data, the stolen cookies, were used to gain access to the Slack server for EA employees. Vice also details here that cookies can save the login details of particular users and potentially let hackers log into services as that person. In this case, the hackers were able to gain access to EA Slack using the stolen code. Vice also brought up an incident that isn't directly linked to this specific hack, but there are details of how back in February 2020, Motherboard reported that a group of researchers discovered an ex-engineer had left a list of the names of EA Slack channels in a public-facing code repository. This lapse in security didn't directly affect this specific instance, but it is a report of a recent case where EA's security was just far too loose and could have been potentially compromising, and in the case of this specific instance, it certainly did quite a bit of damage. So once the hackers infiltrated EA's Slack channel, it was just a matter of essentially putting in requests that would allow them to further their hack under the guise of being someone relevant at EA. So here we have a quote from a representative from the hackers who said the following: "Once inside the chat, we messaged an IT support member. We explained to them we lost our phone at a party. last night. EA's IT support bought the story, and the hackers, under this disguise, requested a multi-factor authentication token that would grant them access to EA's corporate network. The representative said this was successful not once, but 2 times. So they infiltrated Slack. They basically went, yes, hi, IT support. This is Howard Ackerman of EA. We would like access to stuff because we left our phone at a party last night. And they said, yeah, seems legit. And just walked them into the network. Once inside EA's network, the hackers found a service for EA developers for compiling games. They successfully logged in and created a virtual machine, giving them more visibility into the network, and then accessed one more service and downloaded a game source code. Let me remind you again, 780 gigabytes, almost a terabyte worth of data that was taken directly from EA servers. Motherboard reached out to Electronic Arts, and interestingly enough, a spokesperson basically confirmed the account of this hacker representative, said straight up this is exactly how things played out. EA then confirmed to Motherboard the contours of the description of the breach given by the hackers. And further lending credence to this whole situation is that the hackers actually gave Motherboard evidence, provided a series of documents they say were stolen as part of the hack, including an assortment of materials on PlayStation VR, how EA creates digital crowds in the FIFA games, and documents about AI in games, alongside source code of Frostbite, which I'm genuinely wondering how damaging that is. Having access to source code means you can study it and know exactly how this software machine works, which allows you to circumvent security measures, and that could be very damaging for games that utilize Frostbite. Now, I'm not an expert in software engineering or anything like that. I'm not a programmer, so I couldn't tell you exact details as to how damaging this ultimately is and whether EA can be believed when they say that the stealing of Frostbite source code and whatnot ultimately won't be affecting their games and their business, but I'd hardly think it was nothing. As a cybersecurity expert explained, speaking to CNN, source code could theoretically be copied by other developers or used to create hacks for games. And then a separate spokesperson from a different security firm said anytime source code gets leaked, it's not good. Hackers can comb through the code, identify deeper flaws for exploit, and sell that previous code on the dark web to malicious threat actors. So
that's crazy.
hi everyone. So yeah, this is definitely not nothing, and what is surprising to me is just how easy it was for hackers to actually breach EA. I mean, basically $10 cookies that essentially opened the floodgates for these hackers to go in and steal this data. It was so much simpler than I thought it was going to be, and this again raises security concerns. Cybersecurity won't always be perfect, but the hackers in this case barely had a try, and beyond this compromising the work of employees and the personal information of employees, me as a customer am less prone to trusting Electronic Arts. If security is ultimately this lax, what if one day hackers manage to infiltrate deep enough where player data is leaked? And now with this source code, is there a way for hackers to work their way back and skim through the code and find ways to nefariously affect other players, be it their gameplay experience or directly affect their computing systems? And EA says everything's a-okay, but EA has not necessarily been the most trustworthy of companies in the last few years. It's hard to just take their word for it. Now, I will repeat what I said in my previous coverage of the story. I do not condone any of this. This is a crime, and yes, it's easy to point and laugh at EA, but hacks like these also result in innocents getting caught in the crossfire. I certainly don't feel bad for EA executives because as far as I'm concerned, they engage criminally with how they avoid taxes, with how they sell gambling to kids, with how they try to avoid legal scrutiny, and how they keep navigating around issues that customers and government officials keep bringing up to them. They are not good people as far as I'm concerned. I don't feel bad for them at all. But as far as the ground floor employees go and the people who put all this work into these projects, all the software, and the potential for, employees being directly affected by this, all that stuff is where my focus is at. And I hope that stuff is minimal ultimately. But because of the reputation that EA has built for itself, namely due to EA's executive mandates and leadership's mismanagement of things, people generally just aren't feeling sympathetic towards EA as a whole, as a company, which, you know, to a degree I understand, but at the same time it's important to acknowledge that, you know, this is ultimately not a good thing, and it's not a trend we should encourage, because they might do it to not just companies that we aren't fans of, but other companies that maybe have good intentions, but may potentially open themselves up to having their data stolen. But with all said and done, I thought this was an update worth breaking to you guys to follow up on the previous story that I did. Many of you, many gamers out there, play EA games, old, recent, and upcoming, and the lapse in security on EA's part, at the very least, is worth highlighting to keep people on their toes, though I hope EA really starts taking security a lot more seriously and doesn't let very simple hacks like this happen, to a degree that in the future, or maybe even in the present, it might severely affect employees and players alike in the games as well, and the work that was put into building these engines and securing them and all that stuff. But until we learn more about this, in the meantime, let me know in the comments below what your take is on all of this, and if you have any technical knowledge that you can offer as far as how this kind of hack could potentially...
So, all that being said, I guarantee they don't do anything to change their security practices.
Hell no.
I just feel it in my soul. They gonna see that shit, they gonna be like, well, just don't lose your phone at a party again. And dude gonna be like, oh, I didn't lose it at a party to begin with.
I don't even know what's the last EA game I got.
I think mine was Need for Speed.
Yeah, it done made that. I don't know what it was for me. Do they make Battlefield?
Yes, I think.
That's what it was, yeah. Battlefield 1.
You still might want to look that up.
I might publish that shit. Let's see. Yep, developed by EA Dice, published by EA. Yep.
Yeah, kind of felt it.
Yeah, that's the last EA game I bought. Goddamn EA, boy, I tell you. Can't even make a damn security service.
Now, what was the thing that you wanted to talk about? You said Kojima abandons Blue Box.
There we go. Yes. I recently saw that Kojima is being his headlines about this game called Abandoned.
Oh, the name of the game is called Abandoned?
The name of the game is called Abandoned. It's being made by a studio named Blue Box. So, this is a conspiracy theory. Yes. It's so funny too, because it's so outrageous that people are like pulling him into this game. Because, you know, Kojima is known for doing like outrageous shit before a game drops.
Yeah, but
like,
what
you want to say?
I was gonna say, do they even know what this game is about?
It's supposed to be a horror game.
Oh shit.
And people think it's his attempt to make it Silent Hills again, but he's gonna call the game Abandoned.
Hey, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, so people have somehow looped him into this studio, and I think they said the studio's supposed to be in the Netherlands.
Oh.
And damn, I wish I should have sent you this video, man. But some like people out here are really saying that Kojima's out here pretending like he's not making this game, but he really is, and being very secretive and very like just being very secretive while making it. And it's so fun to me, because like I said, this is not the first time he's done this.
Really?
Yeah, he made Death Stranding right before he announced that game. You know, a lot of people didn't even know that he even had a fucking studio making that game Death Stranding. Let's
I
not forget about
mean,
this.
the only reason we know is because we saw E3 from earlier
We
that
saw
year.
E3, but before E3, that he revealed that he was making Death Stranding. Before that, there was no like
build up.
Kojima Studios, right? Yeah, it was no build up. Kojima Studios, remember, they had like a whole different name.
Really?
Before he revealed it was Kojima Studios, like people kind of like this video. I should have sent you this video. This video that it reminded me that when Death Stranding was coming out, he had nothing to do with that shit until he told the world that he was the one making it. Like he does like weird shit like this, like so people are thinking that this Blue Box game studio in the Netherlands, he's actually there making this new horror game. And it's supposed to be called Abandoned, and it's supposed to be the Silent Hills game that he abandoned.
He didn't abandon that shit.
He didn't abandon it, but he can't make it. He can't call it Silent Hills because of Konami. Yeah,
Just
like people.
Silent mountaintops.
People out here really like going through this conspiracy theory that he's out here making this game called Abandoned. And the studio, they have come out and said like Kojima has nothing to do with this game.
Oh.
But this the crazy part, right? People are saying like the studio that's out here making this game, they have never made nothing before, and they like people don't know shit about the studio.
So people
like the studio just came up out of nowhere, full of people.
So people think it's a late April Fool's joke.
People think Kojima's being Kojima, and he's out here in the Netherlands making this game secretly.
Wow.
And, yeah.
People like to reach.
Cause somebody did. Man, I seen that video, bro. Like, it's somebody said like it was this word that somebody put in that Blue Box put in a tweet, right? And they said that if you said that word in the language they use in the Netherlands, it means Kojima.
Oh my god.
Yes, he's doing that weird shit again. That he don't want people to know that he's making this game. Or he want people to know he's making this game, but in the most secretive, crazy ass way.
I think
that he's talked to, because people even went back to like he posted a tweet right like a year or two ago, and he was holding like a blue box,
right?
A blue box in the picture.
I feel like I might remember that.
See what I'm saying? And now this studio in the Netherlands come out of nowhere called Blue Box Studios. He does weird shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So now people think he's out there making a horror game.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I told you, man. I'm seeing that video. I'm seeing the video later today.
Last topic.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank. You've been very silent on that shit. It's time for that. It's time for that 2-hour review, sir.
Hey, yeah, y'all definitely passed the 2-hour mark. I've been playing it when I can. I definitely played a lot today. I was online earlier. Definitely playing it. Ratchet and Clank Apart. I love this game. It's so goddamn great. I don't have any complaint. Like, I really don't. When I was playing it today, I was like, man, this game is so good. There's anything I don't like about it. And I don't, like, it's so good. Like, I love the characters. I love Ratchet. I love Rivet. She's super dope. The graphics are beautiful. It's the best game I've ever played. The guns are so good. The worlds you go to are all different. As far as like them showing the power of the PS5, it did it today for me because you went to this world right with Rivet, and it was this purple crystal sitting there, right? And this world was destroyed when they got there. She didn't know it. Her and Clank didn't know it. And when the crystal was there, it transfers you to a whole nother dimension. And I tell you, when you hit that crystal, and it brings up a whole nother world in a second. I said, oh my god, no nigga, no lower screen, no nothing.
Yeah, drugs are a little terrible like that.
Yeah, man. I said that was the power of the PS5 right there. And oh my god, the graphics, the gunplay, the way the controller uses the gun, like depending on what gun you're holding, changes the R2 button in the controller, the sounds come out of, man, something that did their thing, bro.
Sounds like
something that did they goddamn thing. Yes, the story's good. I love they added this performance ray tracing mode. It makes it 60 frames per second with the ray tracing. The game is, oh my god, the game is beautiful. Just so many, just the worlds and the goddamn. The game is great to me. I love it. It's definitely the best game. It's definitely the best game I've played this year. Definitely. And I don't think I played anything this year, but Control, which is old, and Ratchet & Clank. That's really it. This is why I'm saying something that can carry in the PS5, because the niggas went from Miles Morales to Ratchet & Clank with the part, which again, it's a very impressive. I don't know how many people working there, but they did this shit within like a year of each other. Like,
right.
Yeah, they definitely. And they out here killing them, man. Like,
they probably had enough time to finish Miles Morales and then just go straight into Ratchet & Clank, because you got to think 2018, they probably were already working on Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Miles Morales was definitely built. Well, now if you ask me, do I think Ratchet & Clank with the part could be on the PS4? I don't think so. Miles Morales, yes, because it is on PS4, but Rift Apart, Ratchet & Clank, because of certain things it does, like that, the way it loads up worlds so quick. There's no loader screens at all in that game. Like, you go to a whole different world, it brings it up quick as fuck, in a second. You go to a whole nother world. The game is goddamn gorgeous, beautiful to look at. Every time I just look at the game, I'm like, holy shit, this game is gorgeous. Like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
That's what you should want to hear.
Yes, instant frames, man. Like, it's games like this that make you excited for the PS5's future, because once these Sony developers like really get into the PS5, man, yes, only for the 5 type games. Oh my god, man. Something that, man. Round of applause. I ain't beat this game yet. I don't even know what's next, but I love it so far. I love it. Like, I can't wait to see. And it keeps getting better as you're going. Like, I unlocked a new gadget, which, like, I was playing this Rivet, and you press L1, it was like this gadget that she'll grapple to something, and she'll spin around super quick. And you can press L1, she'll let go, and she'll go like a long distance.
Maybe it's to get behind bosses or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good.
That's gonna conclude this episode. I will be streaming God of War at some point later today.
Oh,
so
yeah.
happy Father's Day to everybody, and have a wonderful night if you're still awake. A wonderful day if you have yet. So, peace.